Philly with a watch 250 and a so silly.
When the door got closed, I ain't feel too bad. I'ma run mine up, I'ma have some stash. Now you in a raw purse, but you going outside. Now you on the couch surfing, you keep a little rat. Living out his backpack, need to get it back. Got a grade double R and need both lanes. Got a dollar to his name, but he all gang. What you all on my when I find that strange. Keep playing with the fire, but his get burned. But your boy got spit when the light got turned. Got a dog crack when the boy won't learn. Big rack up, shorty when the block gets served. Always sorry when the cap don't work. Got the butterfly doors and the fly like bird. And I love my but I ain't them nerd like damn. Why pie get like yeah.
Running through his mind all day, I'm tired. I'm the boss now, do higher. Hang the phone up, I'm so wired. Couldn't sleep, my floor's too high up. I got keys, that girl's on fire. Who's the boss? I got 5 on me, like what's the cost? I'm in 5 hotel in a suite, I'm lost in white. Get down sheets, I got stripes on my cheeks. Hermes fur on my feet, I'm a lead.
Today, from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, it's Week 16 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the New York Giants taking on the Washington Commanders.
It's an afternoon probably best suited for skating in Central Park, but we're across the river and we are in for a cold one at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. It's been perfection so far. They come in here unbeaten at 14-0.
And just 2 wins away from doing something only 2 teams have ever done. But the most important thing for them now is to make it to the postseason in one piece.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Commanders making their way out. And a look here at their signal caller, the 5th-year quarterback.
Now, the meeting we had with him this week, that's one of the briefer ones we've ever had, isn't it?
He wasn't too happy after last week.
Not happy. Really determined to play a whole lot better, and he really can't play a whole lot worse. He's got to go out and show the team that the goods that he exhibited early are still there. Otherwise, he could lose the confidence that they have in him.
And hoping to get rid of that interception bug. Now a first carry for the former Tar Heel, Javonte Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. Well, this defense for the Giants, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game. That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Washington going to send out their punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. And they'll be led out by their left-handed quarterback.
And he comes to the end of the season leading the NFL in passing yards. And that's not necessarily something you set out to do at the beginning of the year, but it's a good illustration of how remarkable and consistent he's been all season.
Coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Now a run. Here's the 1st-round pick from April's draft. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. These two teams getting a couple of late season tilts this year. Their first meeting was not too long ago, back in week 12. And it was the Giants with a road victory, so they'll look for the sweep here in MetLife Stadium. 2nd and 6. And that's incomplete. You talk about this Washington defense. They find themselves just a couple of spots outside of the top 10 defending the pass, number 12 in the league.
Yeah, this has been a good defense, but they're going to have to really prove it in this one because guess what? They're facing the #1 passing offense in the NFL. It's definitely a prove-it day for them.
It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a 1st down. Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy, the powerful guy with leg drive. Give him the football, and even if the blocking isn't perfect, he has the ability to scatter bodies and move people enough to pick up 1st downs. That's what we just saw right there.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a 1st down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a 1st down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's a give up the middle. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got it going, boys. Let's keep it going.
Hey, 1-7. Check Mike 54.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a 1st down. 9 yards that time. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 40 yards rushing for him on their opening drive of the contest, and it's now 1st and goal. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. A great play there. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Giants are on the board first here this afternoon. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
Extra point attempt here still to come. It's up, it's good, and the Giants have a 7-0 lead. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up Sackett. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Working out of the gun, Daniels. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Throwing now is Daniels. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Washington going to send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. He'll take it at the 42. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
55 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Here we go.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here now, 2nd and 4. They'll set up a throw. And a throw right sideline is complete. Touchdown! A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Giants are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll make the score 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The Washington offense set to take over again. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. They begin the drive with Williams. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The numbers on the ground for Williams a week ago. 15 carries, 72 yards.
They put a lot of effort into game playing and establishing this ground game last week, and the reward was a nice day rushing the ball. Helped them put a balanced offense out on the field. And that carry is an indicator that this ground game wants to be established again this week.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They go play action. Daniels. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Third down and 10. Daniels looking to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Washington going to send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out come the Giants. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3. Because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started. The way that they're going about doing things right now, they've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
When you look at this defense, they come into this one way down at number 23 against the run of the NFL.
And when people talk about facing a challenge, they are certainly getting one in this ball game because they are facing the...
It got his man complete. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 85 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
Usually the big fella's a blocker, a lead back, but he gets the ball on first down. What a surprise for everyone. And as a former safety, if he breaks into the secondary and you see him coming, you just know that's a whole lot of man you've got to deal with now.
And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the power run out of the bag and got a couple extra yards with it. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
They've definitely established a rhythm on this drive, moving the ball quite well. And big man with football is an integral part of the whole thing.
On 2nd and goal, here's the option. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL. Ready to roll for the second quarter from MetLife Stadium. The Giants with the football as they'll see what they can do on 3rd and goal.
Watch right, watch right. Watch right, watch right. Check the outs, check the outs.
Back to throw here. Caught on the slant. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. It's the fullback with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Giants' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Point after here coming up. And it is now 21-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. As the Commanders make their way out on offense, let's take a peek at the playoff picture in the NFC. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Second down, Daniels. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Here's Daniels. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. To the air goes Daniels. He completes it to Jones. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 41-yard line. Now Daniels. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Giants will take over here just shy of the 30.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Mike 14, you can't block me. You can't block me. 14.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy.
And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. 34 yards to gain that time, another 1st down.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this 1st half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description, because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That'll put him at an even 50 receiving yards now in this 1st half. And it's a 1st down.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4. Well, they've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their 1st half lead. Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the 2nd time of the ball game.
And Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Extra point forthcoming. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. That time, a 6-play drive, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm.
There he goes, right side. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Daniels. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
On 2nd down, Daniels again. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Back to throw again. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commanders 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Daniels going to throw again on 2nd down. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Caught by Jones. And down inside the 15 he goes. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a 1st down. They'll look to throw again. And this one nearly picked off. Yeah, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. And we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. So they need 2 yards here on 3rd down. Remember, they're already 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And his kick here is good. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend.
5:36. Let's go, D. Let's go. Watch 79 Broncos. You gonna get this, boys? You think you gonna get this?
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing right, and that's complete. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
52's the mark, boys. 52.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A big play there for the Giants. 44 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him, and he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff running through the middle. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 105 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll drop to throw. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Giants are pouring it on.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats, but what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down,
Good luck.
he's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
A try here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A first down throw for Daniels. That's caught by Sennett. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Complete to Jones. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Washington going to send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is taken at the 23. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent, the blocking's been terrific, and obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here.
Mike 14. Mike 14. Check 19 tight. 19 tight. 14.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Mike 14. Mike 14.
Now back to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it, so on comes the field goal unit. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And in the second quarter, it is the Eagles who are out in front. A touchdown pass there for Jalen Hurts. From there, we head down to the Sunshine State to check on the Jaguars at home in Jacksonville. and they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. Christian Kirk, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore and check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Baker Mayfield with 3 touchdown passes.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Giants offense set to begin this third quarter. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Here we go. Here we go.
On play action, they'll throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That one good for 26 and a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
The play action fake, they'll look to throw. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Well, those backups on the sideline, they got to be eagerly anticipating the fourth quarter upcoming. Look at the size of the lead, how they're moving the football. This defense really struggling and giving up plays like we just saw.
Yeah, Stars have certainly done all they've needed to in this one, haven't they? But my question is, will he be able to resist the urge to continue to run things up a bit and get his main guys a few bonus stats before he calls them off the field?
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal. He'll try again. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Extra point attempt to come here. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On first down, here's Daniels to throw. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Daniels to the air again on second down. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's third down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down.
Hey, 40's Mike. 40's Mike right there. 40's Mike. He's tired.
Play action, now it's Daniels. Under pressure, they got him again. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Man, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Washington going to send out their punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And taken at the 46. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape, 1st and 10. New York's offense back out there and set to go. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide, as they've established already.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Giants. A great effort there. 35 yards. And the Giants just continue to roll. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. The Commanders preparing for their next possession. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Mike 40, Mike 40. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
Looking to throw. Daniels. That complete. Hits Tyler Scott with it. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Check Mike 40. Check Mike 40. It's our time. It's our time. Mike 40.
Back to throw. Daniels. Rush coming, and he's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Let's go. Hey, Mike 40, Mike 40.
Looking to throw. Daniels. And he's going to go down again. First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big.
40's Mike. 40's a Mike. 40's a Mike. Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. He's going to wind up and air it out. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Washington going to send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Fielded at about the 28. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. And New York set to take the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Washington offense back out there. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Daniels over the middle. That's the tight end Sennett. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And that is incomplete.
And you can tell just by looking at them that this offense is a frustrated unit. Things are really unraveling here, and as a head coach, time to earn your paycheck. You've got to find a way to keep it together as that brings up another 4th down.
Fielded just inside the 30. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return. And possession switching back to the New York Giants. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Good starting field position for the New York Giants here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big 3rd quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
They go play action here on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Another 1st down there as this one goes for 25. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Jamin Davis there to bring him down.
A good solid game there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
2nd down and 6 now. They'll try and run this one right up the gut. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They'll try and run with their fullback. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
1 quarter remains here in Week 16. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair.
I'm going to run you over. Mike 40, Mike 40. Watch the curl, watch the curl.
Now a second down throw for Daniels. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
He's second in the NFL in interceptions, and you understand why. He plays a game of great intelligence, understands positioning, and has a great ability to break on the football when it's in the air.
So fun to watch his closing speed, and another example of it on that play. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jones. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34.
Brandon, it certainly looked like they had that play defended well, but it still almost worked. Got it to the running back. He wound up getting really good yardage out of it, but it was 3rd and long, and they were able to rally and stop it before he could get to the marker.
Washington going to send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. Taken in at the 22. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Well, CD, that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit, give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with what they've seen so far, have they? They're certainly hoping that that call now might get the fans back into this one.
Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And the Giants are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
right there. 54, right there, right there. 54, Mike.
He'll drop to throw. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. It'll go as nearly a loss of 10 on 1st and goal. So a disaster there. It goes as a 9-yard loss on the sack. So they get pushed back to the 11. And here's 2nd and goal.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
Looking to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Giants continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point splits the uprights. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Daniels now on 1st and 10. Over the middle, complete. That's Scott. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Hey, 40's Mike. 40's.
Looking to throw. Daniels. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Here's 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun, Daniels. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Muscles him off. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. The Giants going to take over again on offense. CD, I mean, they have just been scoring at will. It's been score after score after score, and a lot of times we use the term blowout for a lopsided ball game. And this has kind of gone past that. I think we're in historic territory right now.
You nailed it. Historic territory. Perfect phrase for what we are watching. If this were a movie, what kind of rating would we put on it? Who would you allow to watch what we're watching right now? Let's hope this one gets over fast, because this game well decided a long time ago.
This 2nd and 4.
It's going to be a long go.
Now a carry here for their fullback. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. And not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
Screen,
Back to throw now on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach that I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
He's got it. Touchdown, Giants. A great play there with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Giants extend their lead yet again. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it was polished off by a Giants touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Another drive coming up for this Washington offense. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Daniels now to throw on first down. He'll get this complete to Sennett, the tight end. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Throwing now is Daniels. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Here's a give up the middle. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. first down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
And it is incomplete. I had a defender running right with him, and now it's third down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to let it go again. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A fourth down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. But Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
Another good completion on the drive as the Giants have a first down.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the fourth quarter.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Singletary. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
Defense really sold out there to stop the run. Understandable down near the goal line. Now on 2nd down, you have to wonder, Might we see play action here and a flip right over the top?
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Now the try here for the point after. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told. And it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that final kickoff concludes the ball game, partner. And one side, a really nice win in this one. They were good on offense and on defense.
And I'm guessing in the other locker room, partner, the head coach is just telling his team, hey, we didn't play well enough to keep it close enough where that one possession down the stretch might have given us an opportunity to win the game.
So for the Giants, they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they run their mark to 15-0 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Washington, they hit double digits in losses as they fall to 5-10. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from MetLife Stadium.
I swear that the last couple months that tried to kill me. By the time I saw it coming, it was done with already. It's hard to run from it when it runs in the family. A problem with 1,000 more it's causing. Damn, it's exhausting. This is why I walked in.
Thanks for letting me share, y'all.
And I've been losing myself, I've been losing my mind. And I've been standing in the rain just trying to stay. I was so ashamed to be in this seat till I met a man who was 20 years. He said everybody here's felt the same defeat. Nobody walks through these doors on a winning streak. I'm tired of being broken. I'm sick of feeling hopeless. Way down here at my lowest. At the end of my road. At the end of my road. So what do I do? So what do I do? What do